So in this tutorial, I want to demonstrate to you guys how to set up a TikTok lead campaign using the lead generation campaign objective. So I have shown you guys how to create your TikTok campaign using the awareness objective, which is also the reach objective. Then I have also shown you guys how to create your TikTok campaign using the traffic, video views, and community interaction campaign objectives as well. So for this tutorial, I'll be jumping straight to lead generation. So I will not be making video about how to set up the TikTok ads campaign for app promotion, right? Because it means for you to actually go with this option, you must have an app, right? And I don't have an app to use to illustrate this for you guys. So I am not going to demonstrate this at the moment, right? But then if you want something like this, probably you can check your YouTube for more valuable content on how to set up app promotion campaign in TikTok Ads Manager. So like I said, we'll be setting up this campaign using the lead generation objective. So the first thing that you have to do is just to click on this lead generation, like you need to select it, right? So if you come to the right hand side of the screen, you can say collect leads for your business. So you can collect leads from website, from instant, from TikTok direct messages and instant messaging apps. So for this website, probably you can send people to your landing page or maybe your product detail page that has the details of the particular product that you are trying to promote, right? Or probably your website entirely. And for this instant fund, this is a fund that you create on your TikTok ads manager, right? So in this fund, all people have to do is just to actually fill the form or to fill their contact information depending on the kind of information that you are requesting from your potential client, right? And also for this TikTok direct message, what it's all about basically is for people to actually send you a DM on your TikTok account. And then the last option, which is instant messaging apps. So this means you can generate leads of people from by sending potential clients to your messaging apps such as WhatsApp and Facebook and Messenger as well. So if you want to set up this ad, the first thing that you have to do is to select the lead generation objective, like I said. Then you come to the right hand side where you see campaign setup. Select this first option that says manual campaign setup. So once you click on this manual campaign setup, then the next option is to give your campaign a name. So as for this, make sure to give your campaign a name that you can always remember, right? So or probably a name that has to do with your business at the end. Then after you've done that, then you can decide to set up your campaign budget at the campaign level, right? And you can also have the opportunity to do that at the ad group level. So as for this, I'm going to be progressing to the ad group level and I want to add the budget at the ad group level. So the next thing we have to do is to give our ad group a name, right? So make sure to give it a unique name. After you have done that, then the next option is the location, like where you intend to send these leads to. So do you intend to send these leads to an instant form so that once they see your video ad, once they click on it, the form is going to be displayed for them to feed their contact information and also to answer other questions that you have put out for them, right? So if that is the option that you want to do, then just leave it on this instant option. But then let's say you want to send people to your landing page or you want to send people to a product detailed page on your website, right? So you have to select this first option that says website. But then one thing you need to know is that if you select this option that says website, it is compulsory that you need to set up a TikTok page. So the TikTok page will be used to connect your website and also your TikTok ads manager together. So it's just a piece of code that communicates between the TikTok ads manager and also your website, right? So this is actually compulsory. So all I'm about to do in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to set up TikTok lead ads using website, instant phone, and the other options that we have, other location options that we have here. So I'm going to be starting with a website, right? So for this website, like I said, you need to select your goal, right, which is conversion or clicks. But then we are bidding for conversions and not clicks, so always put it on conversion instead of clicks. Then the next thing is data connection. So ensure that you select the right pizza, right? So for in here, I have about how many pizzas here. So I'm going to just select this one that is active at the moment just for the sake of this tutorial. But on your end, make sure that you are using the right pixel. So if you haven't watched the video for the pixel, how to set up your TikTok pixel, right? Just try to watch the video and you will understand how to create your pixel so that you can come here to select it and use it to run your campaign just like this one that you are seeing right here. Then the next thing is to select your event type, like what exactly are you bidding for. So here we are optimizing for contact, right? So this means that for anybody that fill out our form, it's going to be assumed that that person is a contact to us. So that is what we are trying to optimize for basically. Now that you have selected this option, then the next thing is our placement. So for this placement, you can decide to do automatic placement, and you can also decide to do manual or select placement. So we want to do it manually, right? So we want our ads to show to people who are on TikTok only. We don't want our ads to show to people outside of TikTok like CapCut, Fizo, Pango, and the rest of them. So we want our ads to show to people who are strictly on TikTok. Now we've selected that, then come to this advanced settings. So you don't need to put any of these options off, right? So you don't need to toggle off a user comment. You don't need to toggle off a video download, and you don't need to toggle off a video sharing, because these things are actually going to like help your video to get more engagement. And the higher your video ad actually gets engagement, the lesser you pay, right? So if you're not into criminal activities or fraudulent activity, there's no point for you to actually put off any of these options. So my best recommendation is to just leave everything the way it is, and you can proceed accordingly. Then the next thing is our targeting, right? So the first thing is our location targeting. So I'm in Nigeria at the moment, and that is why you are seeing that Nigeria is selected for me in default. So if you are in any other country, make sure to select your country. So as I'm making this video at the moment, if you are using an ad account that is based in Nigeria, you don't have that opportunity to target people in different locations like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. These options are not available at the moment, so you can only target the whole Nigeria. You cannot target specific states or states specific locations in Nigeria at the moment. So the next thing that you will have to do is our age targeting. So for this age targeting, let's say I want to start targeting from 25 to 54 plus, but then if you still want to make it so narrow, you can decide to remove this 54 plus, right? So you want to target between people who are within this age range of 25 to 44. Then the next thing is gender. Make sure to select the right gender, right? So if your product is needed by the both gender, make sure to select the both gender. And if your product is needed by a specific gender, make sure to select that gender, right? Then the next thing is our language targeting. So for this, our video ad is in English, and that is why I'm going to be targeting people who are speaking English, or people who their TikTok app default language is set to English. So with this, I am able to target them with my video ad effectively, which is also in English. But then there's something you guys need to know here. So if your video ad is in this Bengali, make sure that you are targeting people who their default language on their TikTok account is set to this Bengali. It will not be right, or it's not going to make sense that you are targeting people who their TikTok default language is set to Bengali. Meanwhile, your TikTok video ad is in English. Like, it's a mess. It's a waste of budget. So you don't have to do that. So both the language targeting and also the language of a video ad should synchronize together. Like, it should be one. Very, very important. Then you just have to leave everything here the way they are. So for location, sorry for interest and behavior. If you like, you can actually do this, but then the most recommended option is just to leave it blank the way it is. Then the next thing is our budget, right? So for this budget, I can decide to say 10,000, that we are willing to spend 10,000 naira per day. So you can also do lifetime budget, but then this is not recommended, right? So I wouldn't recommend that you do a lifetime budget. So the next thing is you setting out what's it called, the scheduled date and time, like when you want the ads to start running and when do you want the ads to stop. So for me, like I always tell you guys, I want my ads to start running from the next day, right? So since we want the ad to start running from the next day, we are going to select 5th April. Then for the time, once the ad, this is actually 5:20 p.m. right now, right? So I want the ad to start running from maybe 5 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click on OK here again. Then everything looks good at the moment. I'm going to click on continue to proceed to the ad level. So at the ad level, we just have to select our ad that we intend to use for this campaign, right? So all you have to do is to give your ad a name. Very, very important. Then after you've given it a name, the next option is to select the video or the image that you intend to use. The image can be flyer, right? So click on it for it to open. So I'm going to be selecting a post from my TikTok account. Now I have about 3 TikTok accounts here, so I'm just going to uncheck and just leave only the account that has the video I intend to use, right? So I'm going to be selecting the video. I'm going to click on confirm, right? So now the video has been selected, and let's wait for the video to load here fully so that we can proceed, right? So the next option here is our calls to action. So you see presently that about 10 call to oh my god. So you see presently that about 10 call to actions were selected for us, right? Meanwhile, this is not advisable because a call to action that it's not even relating to what the video is saying might actually pop up for your client. So this is not advisable. So come here and remove everything, right? So click on remove. So now we've deselected all the call to actions, right? So we just want to select only one call to action. So with this term being selected, what it means is that TikTok is going to be showing the this call to actions randomly to different clients. So someone might say get yours now, another person might say order now, another person might say get yours, blah blah blah. But then we just want to use one call to action, so I can just go with order now. So feel free to use any other thing based on what you're trying to promote or what resonates most with your business. Like very, very important, right? So once you've selected that, the next option is to enter your URL. So for this URL, I'm just going to copy a random URL from here. So this is actually for one of my clients, right? So I'm going to be copying this, right? All I have to do is just to come here, click on Control Paste. So I'm going to be pasting this URL. But then one thing that you guys need to know is that any URL that you're going to use here, make sure that it is the URL that has the base code of the pixel installed on the back end of that website or that URL that you intend to use. So I just copied a random URL just to demonstrate to you guys and also for the sake of this tutorial. So if you are not using, let's say you are using a random URL, like a URL that does not have the QR, oh my god, I'm saying QR code. So the URL that does not have the pixel code installed, right? So it's going to be difficult. You cannot track the actions that people are taking effectively on your website. So this is not actually recommended. So make sure that you are using a URL, a landing page, or a product detail page that has the pixel code installed in it. Very, very important, right? So now I have once everything looks set, you can click on publish all, and once you click on publish all, the ad will go into review. And if the review process is approved, the ad will start running and serving to your clients, right? So now I have demonstrated for you guys how to set up TikTok and lead ads and direct people to your website, to your landing page, or to a specific product detailed page on your website, right? So now the next option is actually the second option that has to do with instant phone. So we are going to be starting everything again. So we're going to be resetting everything. So this instant form, what it means is that we are sending people to a form. So they're going to be filling a form. So once they fill that form, we are going to get their data, we're going to get their information. Probably we are asking for their contact information, right? So we are going to be getting their contact information. And from this contact information, we can be able to reach them or to contact them. So once they see your ad, they click on the call to action button. Once they click on that call to action button, a form is going to be displayed for them, or a form is going to pop up for them. So that form that is popping out for them, or the form that is displaying for them, it's called instant form. Now I'm going to be teaching you guys on another video how to create this instant form, because if I want to do that here, right, and this video is going to be so long, and I don't want the video to be lengthy, right? So that's not a problem. I'm going to teach you guys how to create this instant form. That's not a problem. But then let's go with this instant form so that I will show you guys how to how to set up the TikTok leads ads using instant form. Now that this is selected, scroll down to our location targeting again. So for this, we are not going to alter anything here again because there's nothing so important here. So we are just going to leave everything here the way they are. So there's no specific changes here. Then we're going to proceed to continue, right? So on the ad level, this is where you guys just need to pay attention because there's a little changes, right? Like I always say, make sure to to give your campaign, your ad a name, then select the video. So as for this video, I'm going to be selecting a random video again. So let me just select any random video. I'm going to click on continue. Then the next thing is our call to action. So I've already told you guys the reason why I like going with just a single call to action instead of selecting several call to actions, right? Then the next thing I'm going to be doing here is a instant form. So now this instant form is the form that once people see this particular ad for instance and they click on this shop today, this form is going to display for them. Now we have two options here. So it's either we create the form from scratch if we haven't created the form before, or if the form has been created before, then you can use the second option that has to do with choose from library, right? So now I am not going to be creating a form from scratch, like I said. So I'm going to be showing you guys like another tutorial how to create your instant form from scratch, right? So I'm going to be clicking on this choose from library. So once I click choose from this library, the form is going to display for us like all the forms that we have in this particular what's it called, all the forms that we have in this particular TikTok Ads Manager account is going to display for us. But you can see that currently we have a two forms, right? So I'm going to be selecting the second one, right, which says a tutorial form. I'm going to click on confirm. So once I click on confirm, you can see that the font has been added here to the ad level, right? So once anybody comes across this particular ad and they click on this shop today, they'll be taken to this form. So now if everything looks good from the bottom, sorry, from the head to the bottom or from the bottom to the head and everything looks good, you can click on this publish button. And once it is published and the ad is approved, like I always say, the ad will start running and showing to your client or your potential customers. Now, the next thing that I need to show you guys is also TikTok direct messages. So you can also generate leads by sending people to your TikTok DM. So it's actually possible. So for you to do that, like if you want to send people to your TikTok DM, come here and click on this TikTok direct message, click on OK. So once you click on this option, TikTok direct messages, then come here to where we have goal. So we have different goals, right? So you can bid for clicks, you can bid for conversation, you can bid for leads. But then for the sake of this tutorial, what we are concerned about is actually leads and not actually conversation and the rest of them. But then you can actually start a conversation, right? It's possible. But let me leave it on leads for the meantime. Then the next thing is for you to scroll to the ad level. Now we'll be going straight to the ad level. Come to the ad level here, click on continue. So once you click on the continue button, you just need to give your ad a name. Then you see that we have a different interface here, right? So this was not there when we used the the instant form and also the website location, right? Destinations or locations, right? But then you see that this time around, we are giving the opportunity to select the TikTok account that we intend to use. So I have a several TikTok accounts here. So, but then I'll be going straight with this first option, right? So there's no problem in selecting a different TikTok account. Then the next thing is to select a video or images, right? So I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to be selecting a video here. I'm going to click on confirm. Then you see that the text here. So these text that are automatically popped up here for us. These are the text that are attached to this video on my TikTok account. And you can see that the call to action here is send message. So for everybody who are going to be coming across this particular video, the call to action that is going to be displayed for them is send a message. And once they click on this send a message, they will be redirected to my TikTok DM. Now the next thing is actually to create the message, right? So you can either create the message from scratch, or you can choose from template, or sorry, you can choose from the gallery if you have, or library if you have created a if you have created a message template in the past. So, but then I'm going to click on create here. So let me just quickly show you guys. You can click on create and you feed the form accordingly. So I don't know. Okay, yeah, it has started displaying properly, right? So the first thing is actually to edit the form, give it a unique name. Then the next thing is this is automated chat, right? So if you want automated chat or start conversation, anyone that you are most convenient with, right? So, but then I would recommend that you put it on this start a conversation. You see, hi, thanks for contacting us. How can we help you? So, once anybody comes across this ad, they are going to be sending this message to you, right? So once they send this message to you, then another question will pop up. So you just have to go through the list of options here to set up the questions accordingly. And if there's anything here that you don't like, you can actually remove it, right? So can I book an appointment? If I don't want this, I can actually delete it, right? So I'm going to click on delete and you see that I have deleted it. And if you want to add something, you can click on this add question, right? Then click on the drop down, type your message here, and everything looks good. So once you have filled out this message template, give it a name like I said, then you click on this confirm button to actually save it, right? So once you've done everything, you can click on this publish button as well. Then let me go back to the last option that we have here. So let me see the other option again, because my aim is actually to show or to demonstrate to you guys how to set up a TikTok lead ad using these different options, right? So now the second to the last option is this instant messaging apps, right? So I'm going to click on this instant messaging apps. So for this instant messaging apps, you can see we are bidding for clicks or conversation. So but then I don't want you guys to bid for conversation here, and this is my reason. So if you select this option of a conversation, for instance, that you want to bid for conversation, right? So I don't know why this is finding it difficult to select, right? So I have selected conversation now. So if you select this conversation, you're going to be having another option that says event. So you need to set up this event, right? So you need to select either WhatsApp, for instance, that you want to send people to WhatsApp, for instance. So once you select this, you enter your WhatsApp phone number. Once you enter your WhatsApp phone number, then you can click on this event. Then you need to set or create this event. But then the downside of this session is that you're going to be taken outside of a TikTok, right? So you'll be taken to a third party website where you have to create this event, and sometimes it's not free. This service is not free, like you have to pay for you to be able to use this service. So in order for you not to encounter this error or these difficulties, I would recommend that this time around you go for clicks. That means you are bidding for clicks instead of bidding for conversation. So with this bidding for clicks, you can see that there's no option for event here anymore. Then the next thing is to enter your WhatsApp phone number, right? Then you just have to enter your WhatsApp phone number here. So, but then I would prefer that you use it WhatsApp business phone number for you to not encounter any challenges, right? Then the next thing you're going to be doing is your placement and everything here. Everything here looks the same, so you don't have to stress yourself about this anymore because I've been seeing this over and over. Then the next thing is to go to your ad level. So in this ad level, which is the last stage of setting up a campaign, as usual, please give your campaign a name, select the video that you intend to use. So for this, I'm going to be selecting a random video. I'm going to be clicking on this confirm. Then you see that the call to action that is available for us is send a message. So with this option, people are going to be seeing the option to send message on WhatsApp. So once they click on this send a message on WhatsApp, they'll be taken from the TikTok app to our WhatsApp DM. So like this is very very simple, and it's like ABC, like it's something that you guys can do or replicate. If you understand everything I'm saying, this thing is something simple that you can replicate at your end, right? Then the next option, if everything is okay, click on publish and the ad will be reviewed, right? Then the last option is, I think, a phone call, right? So you can also generate leads via phone call as well. So all you have to do is to click on this option of phone call, click on OK, then everything here. You don't have to do anything here again because I've been explaining over and over here. Proceed to continue. So once you come to this ad level, like I always say, to give your ad a name, then the next option is to select the video that you intend to use, right? So I'm going to be selecting a random video here. I'm going to click on confirm as usual. Then you see that the call to action that is available for us this time is call now. So what this means is that for everyone that are going to be coming across our video ad, they are going to be seeing this button call now. And once they click on this call now, they are going to be this phone number that we are going to be putting here, 342915, is going to show up for them, and they can call this number to talk to anyone that is in charge of taking or receiving calls for your business, probably your customer representative or whoever the person is that you put in charge of this section, right? So you can actually generate leads via phone call. So now I have shown you guys the different methods that you guys can use, right? So if you gain value from this video, just stick to the end to watch other valuable contents like this. Thank you, and let me see you in the last campaign setup, which is the sales campaign objective.